Live from WTKR News 3, your news at 11 starts right now.
Hurricane Matthew barrels down on the Bahamas. Powerful waves crash on the shores of the island as strong winds shake the grounds.
You better be ready before, because if it turns at the last minute, you're not going to have time to get ready.
Florida on edge as the Sunshine State prepares for the wrath of the storm.
The East Coast bracing for the unexpected. The First Warning Storm Team is tracking the latest changes to Hurricane Matthew's path. Good evening and welcome to News 3 at 11. I'm Beverly Kidd.
And I'm Kurt Williams. The direction of the storm is keeping everyone on their toes. And Chief Meteorologist Patrick Rocky is standing by. And Patrick, you've got the brand new update from the National Hurricane Center.
Yeah, and it is even more good news for us. Not so good news for the folks in Florida. This is a monster storm, 115-mile-per-hour sustained winds, gusts up to 140. Right now it's moving off to the northwest at around 10 miles per hour, is expected to intensify over the next day or so as it makes its way toward Florida. So the forecast track brings it very close to, say, areas around Titusville, the Cape Canaveral area, and then moving up toward Jacksonville as a monster Category 4 storm. But keep in mind, this is the forecast track. There's an equal chance it could make its way inland into Florida or stay out here in the Atlantic, which would be the best case scenario for folks in Florida. Take a look at after that. It's going to hug the coast and then loop back out here in the Atlantic and kind of do a loop as we head through the weekend. Let me get in here a little bit closer. This is how this affects us. Earlier, the forecast track did include Hatteras. We're out of it. That means our entire area is now outside of that forecast cone. Now, could that change and move back toward us? Absolutely. So we will continue, obviously, to track this very closely. But it is some very good news for us tonight. We're all out of that forecast cone. This is a look at the spaghetti plots. It's a bunch of the forecast models on one map, and they're in pretty tight agreement that this is going to make its way through the Bahamas and affect Florida in some way. Some of the forecast models bringing it inland, others hugging the coast like the official forecast track from the Hurricane Center. After that, a lot of them loop it back out in the Atlantic. Some take it out into the central Atlantic at that point. But again, none of those forecast models include our part of the world. And so that's why we're seeing that change here from the National Hurricane Center. So again, that is some very good news for us tonight. For this evening, we do expect some clouds around. You probably notice these gusty winds. These have nothing to do with Matthew, but they are causing the potential for some tidal flooding tonight and again tomorrow. And a few showers are possible as we head overnight and toward tomorrow morning. So what does this change in the forecast track mean for us? We're going to talk about Matthew's potential impact on our area coming up with your First Warning Storm Team forecast.
People on the Outer Banks are preparing for whatever Hurricane Matthew may bring. News 3's Kim Kung continues our team coverage in Kill Devil Hills. She tells us how people with beachfront homes are bracing for the storm.
Hurricane Matthew may be a few days away, but these wind gusts out here are already quite strong. Now, I spoke to both vacationers and homeowners who tell me they'd rather be more ready than caught off guard. The O'Connors have been trying to stay in this quaint house right on the beach for a decade. It's the only one left after past storms damaged the previous neighbors.
We've always seen this house and it was available. We thought, oh, wonderful, it's our chance to stay right on the beach.
The storm will most likely dampen their sunny vacation plans. The rental company has been in contact with the couple, helping them prepare.
They've sent people down to secure some of the shingles on the roof and things like that. So they're taking care of the house for us.
For this family, Matthew is their first hurricane as Outer Banks homeowners.
We bought some plywood from Lowe's, and we're just gonna screw it in. That's all we can do.
Ashley Goodwin tells me owning this house was her family's lifelong dream, so they would rather be safe than sorry with storm preparations.
We feel good now. We didn't before because we just weren't sure. Like we didn't know what was going on. It's a little nerve-wracking because we don't know what to expect, and we want to be more prepared than not.
The dunes have been rebuilt around NC-12, and people on the Outer Banks are keeping their eye on the storm as each wave rolls in. Now, both families I've spoken to tonight tell me they plan on sticking it out through the storm. As of right now, there aren't any evacuations for Kill Devil Hills, Kitty Hawk, or Nag's Head. Reporting in Kill Devil Hills, I'm Kim Kung, News 3.
A mandatory evacuation is now suspended for Ocracoke Island. That's in Hyde County. Officials say people don't have to leave, but keep in mind, ferry service will be suspended over the weekend.
Dominion Virginia Power has been keeping a close eye on the threat for any power outages as the storm moves up the coast. It's also led people to flock to local stores in search of generators. At Northern Tool and Equipment Company in Norfolk, they sold out of their entire stock Monday and Tuesday. Another truckload arrived this morning, and by midday, more than half were sold. The store manager says they are ready to bring in another truckload of generators if need be.
And let us know what you're doing to prepare for Hurricane Matthew. Take a picture or video with your smartphone. You can share it with us 24/7. Email us at pics@WTKR.com. Upload it using the News 3 app or to our Facebook page. You can also tag us on Instagram or Twitter.